Good morning, folks. Oh, and of course, now my voice decides to go. It is Monday, July 22nd, and it is a relatively sunny day. And I'm actually somewhat on time. Go figure. And Thomas Potts is first in the chat as normal. How are you this morning, Thomas? Derek McManus is a short second. Hello there, he says. Hello, Derek McManus. How are you? Black Adam. Hey, it's my favorite maple farmer. Thomas Potts is tired. Bird of Prey 5 says Kapla. Kapla, Bird of Prey 5. Hope you're doing well this morning. So, this morning's ramble is going to kind of have a couple of points that I'd like to address and a couple of ramblings that I'd like to do, and also what goes on in the chat and kind of play it by ear. So, the last 24 hours have been relatively interesting for my channel. It's kind of been a roller coaster. On one side it was really cool, and on another side it was kind of maybe I should rethink how I do videos kind of moment. That's because yesterday, as some of you may know, I released a Picard trailer review. And as it sits, last time I checked, it's at 121 views. Which is awesome. Which is phenomenal. For my channel, that's crazy. For Anti-Trekker and other big channels, not as impressive. However, for me, up until that point, my highest video would be the high 20s in views. That video surpassed that by leaps and bounds. The issue, and where I find it a little deflating, and kind of to rein me in a little bit, is although the video got 101 views, I didn't get a single subscriber out of the whole batch. So, it kind of made me go, why was the video so bad? And so, I've kind of gone to possibly it might be that one, I don't show myself on camera. Two, I have a little bit more of a positive spin than a lot of other variations, and I'm kind of new to this, so I'm trying not to take it too annoyingly that, out of 121 people viewing my video, I didn't get a single subscriber. But I guess these things will come. But yeah, so that's kind of where my mindset is, just trying to think of things. So by all means, if anybody has any suggestions, later post them in the comments, and I will try to incorporate them and definitely take a serious look. So before I get too far behind, I'm going to go with the chat here. So Derek McManus says, hey there, Joe. Black Adam, you're going to murder me one day. Life with Matthew, good morning, Rambling. Good morning, Life with Matthew. I hope you're doing well. Black Adam, make sure you bury me so I can park your bike when you visit my body. Oh boy. Captain Cat says, yep, he is Adam, laughing. Captain Cat says, hi guys, good morning, Captain Cat. Black Adam says, hi Cap. Life with Matthew, hey Captain Cat, how's it been going? Captain Cat says it's been going good, mate. Derek McManus, small acums, large oaks, then? Not exactly sure. Black Adam, it's surpassed your previous. Oh, my chat jumped. Hold on. It surpassed your previous score by oots and a boots. Yeah, ha 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 ha. We don't actually talk like that. Black Adam, positive spin. You sounded like you loved the trailer. I did, actually, for the most part, which is, again, I'm the odd man out. But I have my reasons. But I did like the trailer, actually. Bird of Prey 5. The video isn't bad. More than likely, people looking for the actual trailer use the analytics to see how long they watched. Yeah, it wasn't very long. It wasn't long views, for the most part. I actually did that Bird of Prey. It wasn't a very, like, I don't think most of them stuck around past the 1 minute mark because they were looking, as you say, for the actual trailer. So as you said in the comments of that video, one thing I do have to work on is labeling my videos or titling my videos. I have to come up with a better way of doing so, I think, and maybe try to do a better job of describing the video in the title than I have been. Black Adam, show your face. Right now, the reason that I don't use cam is the only cam I have is the one on my laptop, and it sucks. It's very grainy, very poor quality. And I just haven't been able to afford to get a proper cam. So, for that reason, I don't use the cam because it sucks. And I guess the argument could be made that, you know, bad quality video is better than no video, but that, and the way my setup is right now, I don't have a suitable area. Like, I don't have an office or a desk or that. Actually, if you saw me now, I would be kind of taking a page out of Bird's book, and you'd get Bed Life Canadian version. Truth be told. But, yeah. Captain Cat, they didn't subscribe because you are a Canuck and they are bigoted against Canucks. I wouldn't go that far. I just think that, like Bird of Prey 5 said, they were looking for the actual trailer, and I'm a little too wary of copyright to put the whole trailer up. I've gone as far as still frames, but I still a little antsy about putting video up. Mainly because, and I have reached out to Trek Yards, mainly because Captain Foley is Canadian like myself, to find out more about the laws that we have, because in the United States, you all have certain protections, fair use, etc. And I'm not 100% sure that translates across the border. So I've been a little weary of doing it, because where a channel in the United States might be protected, I may not be, just because of where I am regionally. Derek McManus, some people take a while to commit to a subscription. It can take a lot to stay on top of. You have a lot. Very true. Captain Cat, no Adam, he might scare people. Very funny. Although I tend to agree with you. Black Adam, what about the name change? No. I like Rambling Canuck. It was. I like it because it's what I am. I ramble and I'm Canadian. Simple. Black Adam says, "Look, it's me and Derek in the sun." Haha, very funny. Captain Cat is laughing. Captain Cat, Derek isn't really Irish though. Black Adam Cap, yes he is. Captain Cat says he's a Brit from Northern Ireland. Black Adam says Northern Ireland, he's Irish. Now, don't defend them. Black Adam, I will. Rambling, please. Shorts, actually. Shorts. Morning shorts. It's warm. It's not minus 50. That's another couple of months away. So, shorts. Black Adam, hands where we can see them. Ha ha ha, you're so funny, Black Adam. And again, that's why I don't use video. Because I don't have a proper setup for it. I just don't. I don't have green screen. I don't have a proper background. And the camera itself really, really bites. So I'm a little wary about using the full video. I don't personally care if my image is online. I could care less. I have no illusions or fear of that. I just would prefer, if I'm going to put out a video with the actual video, that it be somewhat good quality and not grainy. Captain Cat says, don't you miss the day when trailers were reposted everywhere and movie and TV shows considered that marketing? Yeah, and then they went and got, well, this is mine. Mine. Only we can show, and taken copyright to the extreme. Not Ryan Johnson says, yo, good morning, Not Ryan Johnson. Anti-Trekker is here. Good morning, Anti-Trekker. I hope your back is doing well today. Mine isn't too bad, so I hope yours is the same. Captain Cat, see, Northerns like Bird of Prey aren't really U.S. citizens or Southerners. Bird of Prey, though, since he's a Trump supporter, he's an honorary citizen. Oh, yes, the political realm. Oh, what a headache. Captain Cat, hey AT, and Not Ryan. Black Adam, morning Anti-Trekker. When is your appointment this week? And Thomas Potts is saying hi to Anti-Trekker. So, as I was saying before, Bird of Prey 5 says, what? Not citizen. Not sure. They were trying to bug you, Bird of Prey. They were trying to bug you. Captain Cat says, Northerners. There's nothing wrong with us Northerners. Black Adam says, did you see the man speeding chair? Anti-Trekker, Black Adam, let's see. I have a therapist appointment this afternoon. Tomorrow I will be doing my prep for the colonoscopy. Oh, poor Anti-Trekker. Wednesday I got the colonoscopy. Thursday I go to the PT. Oh, fun. Yeah, I get to look forward to all my tests coming up soon. Oh, joy. MRIs. And if they tell me spinal tap, they can shove it, because I'm not doing that again. Bird of Prey 5 says New Yorkers and Californians maybe. Thomas Pot, Bird is an evil dictator and needs locked up. Since Bird of Prey and Captain Cat are here, I have found Bird of Prey 5's counterpart in the wrestling world. And Captain Cat will know the name when I say it, and he'll probably burst out laughing. However, Bird of Prey 5 has a counterpart in the wrestling world. His name is Paul Heyman. Just look up Paul Heyman. He's a New Yorker. And his rants are funny. Bird of Prey 5, Trump wouldn't have won without Ohio, PA, Michigan, and Wisconsin. No, Trump wouldn't have won if they would have put somebody half decent against him. However, they didn't. And they went with Hillary, which the minute that was announced, I knew the Dems were losing. But that's neither here nor there. Captain Cat says U.S. Northerners rambling. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, because in Canada, technically, I'm Southern Canada, so technically I can't even say I'm Northerner. Although, we do get as cold as Mars, so yay me. Black Adam, you okay rambling? Yeah, I've just... I get moments where my back decides to remind me it's still there. Anti-tracker Thomas Potts, hey, yeah, Bird must be stopped. I don't know. I think as a Canadian, I should broker a peace, because we do that a lot. Well, we used to. Now we just kind of sit there and look around going, hey guys, be nice. Captain Cat, Bird of Prey, they can all be honorary Southern citizens. Bird of Prey 5, my counterpart was Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. No, Bird. No. Not Ted DiBiase. Your counterpart in the wrestling world is Paul Heyman. And there are some perks to that. I mean, he has... there are some perks to that. His main wrestler that he manages is Brock Lesnar. I mean, you can't get any better than that. Captain Cat rolling on... yeah, Captain Cat knows who I'm talking about. Captain Cat says, I love DiBiase. He's a Christian preacher now. Yes, he is. I wish his son's career would have had a better go than what it did. I think he got an unfair shake. Bird of Prey 5 says Harris 2020. I have no idea who that is, because I refuse to deal with any of the politics, because there's an American election, a Canadian election, multilaterally, and I'm all electioned out, and it hasn't even started yet. Captain Cat at AT. And AT, if you ever want to talk Skype, Skype me, bro. Thomas Potts, Crazy Opre 5. now. Anti-Trekker, Thomas Potts, hey. Anti-Trekker, Captain Cat thing. Thanks. Right now, I just need a way to make a living on YouTube or something. And Anti-Trekker, you're probably going to get mad at me for saying this, but it is one thing I'm glad I live in Canada for, is that our healthcare system. And I know I'm speaking evil here, but I can go for 3 MRIs and not pay a dime. Just saying. So yes, I know When I'm talking to people from the United States, our healthcare system is the birds, but sometimes it's nice that it's there. Captain Cat, I wish I could help you more with YouTube, bro. Black Adam, wrestling isn't inclusive. Where is the non-binary league? Where is the trans league? Don't even start with that, Black Adam, because there is one. Why can't men fight women? Don't start there, because they already do. Just not in the WWE, although they're starting again. Oh, bloody hell. Oh, the headache. And to prove your statement wrong, China was the Intercontinental Champion at one point. And last year, there was a female competitor in the men's Royal Rumble. Oh, joy. Captain Cat, Bird of Prey 5 for U.S. Southern President. Captain Cat, no, I think Bird of Prey 5 would make a better vice president. Behind the scenes. Anti-Trekker be the president and the main focal point, and then Bird of Prey 5 be the vice president. I think that'd be much better. Captain Cat, then Bird can get rid of liberals. I think extremes on either side are bad, but that's besides the point. Don't rub it in, man. Anti-Trekker, I am not going to fight you over healthcare. Sure, a socialized system feels better since you don't have to pay for it and such. However, higher taxes pay for it and the quality of care suffers. I would agree and disagree. Yes, you pay a higher tax for it. However, I would argue that I would much rather, in a situation where I get hit by a car and I'm your average Joe working 9 to 5, barely making it check to check, I get hit by a car, and because I got hit by that car, my hospital bill makes it so that I lose my house, my family, my car, everything, because I can't pay the hospital bill. Whereas in Canada, that's not so much the case. However, not everything is covered, contrary to popular belief. We still pay for our prescriptions. We still pay for extras such as physiotherapy, chiropractor, all that fun stuff. It's the main stuff that's covered. And even that, there are limits. So I think a happy medium would be the ideal, where if you have the money to pay for perks, that's great, and have the option to do so. But at the same time, I think there should be a system in place where you have it where somebody who is struggling in life can still get the health care that they need. So I think there has to be a happy balance somewhere. And I don't think either the Canadian system or the American system is perfect, nor got there yet. However, going totally one way or totally the other way, I don't think is sustainable, nor is it a good thing on either side. Black Adam, your prime minister is your government will make kids transition if they say they are kids into other genders. you win some, you lose a lot. Our government, the Canadian government, under Trudeau, has its good points and its bad points. Because federally, yes, there's been a lot of things that has happened under the Trudeau administration I'm not pleased with, such as the changing of our bloody national anthem, which was complete BS. However, because our country is divided up, where the provinces have a lot more say on your day-to-day, whereas the federal is less so. It's hard to say because it depends on where you are. If you're in Quebec, you love Trudeau, because Trudeau has bent over backwards trying to gain the popular vote in Quebec. And the reason he's done so is because in Quebec and Ontario, he needs the votes. If any party wants to become prime minister, they have to win Quebec and Ontario. If they don't win Quebec and Ontario, they're screwed. That's just the lay of the land. So in a lot of ways, BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, the prairie provinces, and the east and west coasts suffer because if it's not Quebec and Ontario during election year, they don't really care all that much. Anti-Trekker says, Black Adam says, Anti-Trekker, I sent you an article through TNN. Very cool. Anti-Trekker says, Black Adam, thanks. DJ Odyssey, good morning, DJ. That was a great show yesterday. I had to leave early because, I wanted to go fishing. Anti-Trekker says, Thomas Potts, you forget he is Canadian. They do not ever intentionally hurt others. Oh, Anti-Trekker. That is such a bad stereotype, because living here, I can tell you that's a bunch of BS. Thomas Potts, hey DJ, and not Ryan Johnson says, hail to DJ Odyssey. So, moving away from the political spectrum, I'm going to go to one of the things I wanted to talk about, and that was Picard, and Star Trek, and Star Wars, and just where I come from on those topics, and why, for me, I have various interests. I don't solely like Star Wars and only Star Wars, and I haven't read all the books, and I haven't looked at all the lore. Star Trek, same thing. I'm a fan, but I'm not a diehard. Wrestling, WWE, etc. I fit more into the diehard category there. I also like World War II. I've done so much research on that, it's insane. Such as before I went live, I was watching a video on battleships of of the British Navy, because those things interest me. And also, I'm a car guy, so I'm kind of little here, little there, little here, little there, and I think my perspective is a little different than most, because I'm not willing to, as they say, die on the hill. For any one of, I have my opinions on various topics, but I won't go die on the hill. Even in WWE, I won't die on the hill because it's pointless. So I wanted to kind of akin my thinking to and what I see in a different sense, and that was that if you look at any fandom, whether it's Star Trek, Star Wars, WWE, MCU, DC, anything that people gather around, even in the car world, you have your three main types. You have your diehard, you have your fan but not diehard, and then you have your casuals. They'll watch it if it's good. If there's a lot of hype around it, they'll pay attention to it. But day to day, they really don't care one way or the other. And they're more concerned of what have you done for me lately. And I wanted to kind of use an analogy that I was thinking about this morning, which was in the car world. You have your diehards. You have your diehard car fans that if it's made after 1980, it's a piece of junk and not worth your time. And you have your diehards that sit in the world that when they're restoring a car, let's just use 1969 Dodge Charger because that's my favorite. As an example, if you have a diehard restoring that car, the parts have to be original parts. The parts have to have the serial number. They have to be able to be traced. They have to be able to be tracked. They have to be able to be original parts. Then you have your restorers that will restore that same car, and it'll look just as nice. But they're not diehard to the point that it has to be an original part. They will use new parts, and they will try to stay to the aesthetic that was originally. And then you have your other restorers that will take a car and cut it to shreds and put subwoofers in it and TV screens and make it look like a rolling joke. So you have those three categories, and I think if you step back and take the emotional side out of it, I think you can apply the same theory to every single fandom. Star Trek, Star Wars, WWE, whatever you happen to be looking at, you can probably fit those three categories into any fandom you want. And but before I get too far on my ramble, I'm going to go back to the chat here quickly. The worst fight in Canada ever was the Great Annoyance of 1931. There was so many hurt feelings. The country still isn't got over it. I have no idea what you're talking about, Black Adam. Then we know what we're talking about when it comes to Trek and why Picard is a load of crap. Personally, I look at it like this. Picard hasn't come out yet. They have released 2 trailers. The first trailer was just a glimpse. The second was a little bit more in depth. However, I think personally that it's still too soon to cast judgment on it. It's too soon. And I think a lot of it is because STD, or Star Trek Discovery, was so terrible, and is so terrible, that it has ruined anything going forward, and it has a bigger hill to climb to prove itself than it may not have if the Star Trek Discovery had actually been done with a little bit of respect and a little just a little bit of common sense. So I think Picard and a lot of the backlash for Picard is less on what we've seen and more of because Star Trek Discovery sucks so terribly, and the bad taste in everybody's mouth over that. Derek McManus, I'll give Picard a chance, but I'm not confident. Derek McManus, the Royal Navy. Black Adam, Derek McManus, WW2 Imperial. DJ Odyssey, why can't we have quotes for Rambling Canuck? Oh, jeepers, don't start that now. Mine will be worse because I tend to have a positive string on things. Oh boy. Not Ryan Johnson, DJ Odyssey, good point. Derek McManus, STD is truly awful television. Yes, I stopped watching after the first season. I couldn't watch another episode of that if I tried. It infuriated me to the point where I couldn't watch it anymore, and all I've done is watch reviews of the second season and was so thankful I didn't actually watch the show. DJ Odyssey sucks so bad, and the bad taste in everyone's mouth. Rambling Canuck. Yeah, you can put that as a quote. No, I don't care. Doesn't bother me any. But in all seriousness, I think Picard has a chance to be good. Just like everything really does have a chance. The problem I see is when it's coming out, which is 2020. And the only real reservation I really have is because of when Picard is going to be coming out. It's coming out during election year, which means the worst part of Star Trek and the fandoms is going to be ramped up to 1,000 because it's election year. And so I could say that they're going to leave politics out of it, but I'd be lying. They're just not. There's no way with it coming out in 2020 that politics are going to be able to be kept out of it. There's just no way. Black Adam, Rambling Canuck. Picard is a secondary character in his own trailer, and this mysterious woman is given pride of place in the trailer, and when talking about a captain, he isn't in corner with the other way white men in the entire show. Again, we've seen combined 4 minutes tops of footage. 4 minutes, and that's probably being generous. Star Trek Discovery deserves every bit of criticism and trashing that it gets. However, Picard, I would say, doesn't. For the simple fact, we haven't seen it. We have seen a whole, maybe 3 minutes of footage. Maybe. The first... And honestly, I akin it to those 3 sections that I was talking about earlier. You have your diehards, your fan, and then your casual. So, as I've said before, the common thread these days in all fandoms, I don't care which one they aren't going after the diehards. The dogma or belief that diehards will always be there so you can treat them how you want. Tried, tested, and proven. If you need that, just check the WWE. They've pretty much determined that diehards are not where they're going to go. Then there's the middle of the road fan. They kind of try to cater to them. But for some odd known reason, over the last 10 years, the main people they're focusing on is the casual. They want new blood. Never cater to the diehards or the middle of the road. It's always new blood that they're going after. And I think that bites them in the arse in the end. Now, the Picard trailer itself, again, I agree with the anti-trekker. It has a Firefly feel, which could be good, could be cool. But at the same time, it kind of worries me. But I try to be more optimistic about it because there's enough negativity. I'm just tired of being negative, so I'll give it a fair shake. Black Adam, the other white... Oh, yeah, okay. And Anti-Tricker says, well, obviously, if you saw my video, you know this. I thought that Picard looks like a good show overall, but it's not Star Trek show at all. Yes, I did see your review, Anti-Trekker, and actually, out of all the reviews that I saw, yours and Bird of Prey 5's was the one I could make it all the way through. Quite honestly, a lot of the reviews I can't make it through because I get mad and I want to throw something at my TV screen. However, yours and Bird of Prey 5's, I was actually able to make it all the way through without wanting to throw something at my screen. Thomas Potts says, Picard will be political, Romulans locking up Borg, refugees, Romulans will become what the Klingons were in STD, Trump supporters. Quite possibly. Like I said, with it coming out in 2020, there is no way this thing isn't being politicized. There is no bloody way. It just won't happen. And I do agree with you, Anti-Trekker. It does not have that Star Trek feel. However, there are glimpses. The uniforms... the uniforms are decent. I have a bias because they brought back... I got to see Picard in my favorite style, which is the leather on the top, and it's all black. I want that jacket. Just saying. I've always liked that. The leather the leather uniform jacket. I've always liked that aesthetic. So that was a yay for me. As for everything else, I think them putting, after going back and rewatching the trailer a few times, I think them putting 7 of 9 in the trailer was a mistake. I think that should have been a show reveal. Because I think you need, if you're going to have her portrayed the way she is, I think it needs a little bit more backstory, and to just throw it in a flash was a mistake. I understand why they did it. It was to look who's on the show, but honestly, I think they should have kept that a little bit tighter to the chest and made it a reveal during the show, not necessarily during a trailer, because you don't have in the trailer, you don't have the time to go back and say, well, this is why XYZ. So I think if anybody should have, the only two that should have maybe been in the trailer would have been Data. And Data, I'm still kind of, should have saved that for the show, because then you have the context to fit where the character is. Really, I think the only one that really should have been in the trailer would have been Riker, because that's the one that you need the least amount of backstory for. But that's just my personal thoughts on that. Derek McManus, I've had a bit of Black 7's vibe about Picard, although I'm told it's likely Firefly. It's like Firefly by a lot of folks. Yeah, Firefly. It has the vibe, the ship, everything. It has that Firefly appeal, which, if promoted right, could bring in those fans, because those fans were pissed when that show went off the air after one season. So you could bring in that to the that fandom into the Star Trek fandom with this. But yes, as the Anti-Tricker said in his comment and in his video, it doesn't feel Star Trek. They haven't hit that sweet spot yet. And for me, I say it's still too early. We haven't seen enough. But again, that's just myself. Derek McManus, Bird of Prey 5, Rambling Canuck, Egonostic Fun Time did a pretty positive review. Well, I will have to check that out, Bird of Prey. I will check that out. But a lot of the reviews, I can't make it through. And I'll get to why in a second. I just want to get caught up in the chat here. Derek McManus, someone in marketing told the filmmakers that the audience was aging out. Yeah, that's been a cry all across the board. Oh, all our fans are aging out. WWE, same thing. WWE right now for the last year and a half has been doing the women's rights push hard. But that's neither here nor there. Actually, I would even go as far as to say the stuff that the WWE is doing in that front dwarfs anything, even Captain Marvel. I mean, what WWE has done is put Captain Marvel to shame. But that's besides the point. DJ Odyssey uniform doesn't make it a Star Trek show. Should have learned from STD. And in a way, DJ Odyssey, I would say maybe they did. Because you have to remember, yes, the uniform doesn't make the show, but at least the uniforms look proper, unlike STD. So in that sense, maybe they did learn. I'm not going to go that far because I have no faith that they did. However, by putting that aesthetic, maybe, just maybe, they did learn. Just a little bit. Maybe even accidentally. Black Adam, I think what might happen in Picard's ship gets hunted by the Borg cube. Then we hear there's a Federation ship coming. Picard says, who is it? Then you see a quantum slipstream window opening up, and then out of it flies the Enterprise G. I don't think they go that far. I don't think they'll go that far as the Enterprise G. Because that would be skipping a lot. And obliterates the Borg cube and beams the tiny ship inside of it. And we see the captain of the ship is greeted by Ensign Riker and we meet her new captain and see the inside of the ship, and it's pure powerhouse of a ship. That could be. However, I don't think they're going to go that far. I don't think it's going to be the Enterprise G. Maybe the Enterprise H? A, B, C, D, E, F. Maybe Enterprise F. But I don't think it would be G. Yeah. Or it might even be the E. But captained by Riker. Life with Matthew says, first thing I thought when I saw the first Picard trailer was how brown Picard's coat looked. Yeah, again, so with the trailers that have come out for Picard, the first one was not exactly that thrilling. There wasn't very much said, wasn't very much told. It was just, hey, look, we are actually filming. It was my vibe out of that. It was just, hey, look, we are actually filming, folks. And then this one was kind of look and see, look, we have this, there's no story behind it, but look who's here, and a very brief introduction to the crew, but I think it was done too much, I akin it to the person who has a short attention span, and it's, ooh, squirrel, ooh, shiny thing, ooh, squirrel, ooh, shiny thing. That was more what I saw in the trailer's format. Whereas they were trying to show too much of the wrong thing, and it landed a little soft. I mean, I liked the trailer overall. It kind of got me looking forward to it. And for me, the Borg makes sense. Picard, Borg, makes sense. But I don't know. I'm overly optimistic, but I think it's just because I want it to be good. And I fully admit that. I want this show to be good. I want good Star Trek again. And so I'm hoping. And one thing I will say too is each little window into the show we see a little bit more. Like when the first trailer came out, a lot of the complaints was, well, there's no space scenes, it's made too cheap, there's not going to be any space travel, this is going to be terrible because they didn't show us a single space scene. And in the second trailer, they show space scenes, but they screwed the pooch because they showed space scenes, but they didn't show the ship. They didn't show the Federation ship. And I agree with the anti-trekker on that. They should have. But they just showed, look, we do go to space. So, I think in a lot of ways, it's kind of left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing, and trying to appease everyone and not really having an idea of who they actually are making this for. Which is how things are made generally these days, WWE included, is they're trying to appease everyone with no clear design on where they're going. They're not really deciding who they're making this for. They're just making it for, and they're hoping to include as many people as possible. The problem with that is when you try to include as many people as possible, you end up pissing off as many people as possible as well, which doesn't bode well for your new show. Anti-Trekker, hey, Life with Matthew, I saw you attacked again, LOL. Space engineers. The Epic Beard, hey, nerds and half-nerds north of the border. Oh, boy. Black Adam Nemesis was 20 years ago, Enterprise E, then, say, 15 years, Enterprise F was commissioned, and now it's the G. Yeah, I guess. They could do that. However, it would be a more... I guess I think the Enterprise, just the way they're setting up Picard, I think the Enterprise G would be the antagonist, trying to rein Picard back in. Because the way the feel I get is that he goes to the Admiral goes no can do, and Picard goes to do it on his own. So if there is an Enterprise, I don't know if the Enterprise is going to be the one that's coming to help Picard. Again, it depends on who they pick to be its captain. Because the way I think the cameos are going to work is Picard is going to get into a jam, and it's going to be through his connections of friends that get him out of it. I think it's going to be like Riker coming with his ship, or stuff like that, as opposed to Picard being on the Federation side. I think, as much as it's going to annoy me that it's this way, but I think Picard is not going to be Federation. I think he's going to go to the Admiral, like you saw in the trailer. I think he's going to ask for help, and I think they're going to deny him. I think they're going to turn him down flat. And there sparks why he needs a ragtag crew, why he needs a ship that is probably out of date, and he goes on rogue. Which I'm not saying is going to be a good thing, and as much as I hate to admit it, it's probably going to be dreadful from a Star Trek purist point of view, and probably even to a Star Trek common fans going to be looking at this going, WTF. However, they may get that casual that they're looking for. The other thing I would like to say is in Anti-Trekker's review, he mentioned another show. And the show that he mentioned was The Expanse. And I think he's absolutely correct. And back when it was announced where Picard was going to be shown, yes, it's on CBS All Access, but the other place that it's going to be is Amazon Prime. And I think, quite frankly, there is a reason that Picard looks like the way it does. And by Picard, I don't mean Patrick Stewart, I mean the show. I think it looks that way because I would almost bet that the Picard show is going to air very close to The Expanse. Either the same day or within a day of each other. And the idea is going to be to pull the fans from The Expanse to Picard. And I think that's why we get the aesthetic in Picard that we have in Picard. Is because they've already thought that far ahead. And they know that the major sci-fi show on that network is The Expanse. So if they can somehow bring over the fans from The Expanse to Picard, win-win. And I personally think that that's exactly what they're going to do. And the reason, and there is precedence for that. I would just look at the UFC when it first started. The UFC would air after WWE. And the reason it would do that is because people who liked wrestling are going to tune into this other fight show that is somewhat the same but a little different. So hopefully, if you like WWE, you're going to also like this. So I think there are reasons for the aesthetic of Picard. And I think it is because it's going to be going on the same network as The Expanse. Black Adam, Rambling Canuck, when he first meets it, Riker meets him and he is kind and warns him. Then when you see it and the new captain, it is an Andorian, and he is hunting Picard and the ship every time it appears. Yeah, I think that would be more the role of the Federation ship. I think it's going to be hunting Picard. And then the only reason he's going to get saved is because he has friends in high places. Bird of Prey 5, Jerry Ryan claims she was approached a year ago to be in Star Trek Picard. Oh, excuse me. Interesting. Black Adam in space, the Enterprise shows up like a shark who smells blood. Maybe last of the show you see Picard saves Mary Sue McJesus 2.0 and sacrifices himself against the Enterprise. I don't think so. Just because they've kind of announced 3 seasons, I don't think so. Does anyone wonder where the Federation gets the resources to build thousands of ships each time, getting larger and larger, and that it starts to look ridiculous? That is an interesting thing. I would just say that it's because of the whole no money thing, and they have their own shipyards and planets within the Federation that they can get the resources from. Anti-Tracker, yeah, having some weird connection problems. Oh, is my stream messing up? Life with Matthew. Uh-oh, my sound went bad. Oh, darn it. I bet you I know what's robot voice. Okay. He's a Borg. No, it's my stupid laptop.